Hi, and welcome to Mindful Mondays with Carrie. It's good to be here with you. And if you like what you see on Mindful Mondays, please subscribe, like, and share with a friend. I will be drawing a winner for a free 45-minute coaching session at the end of this series, so in a couple of weeks. So please write to me. You can write anything, including any ideas you might have with future series. I'd love to hear what you would like to hear about. And the address is in the description to go ahead and mail a letter to me. I love receiving mail. Okay, so today we're talking about 4 steps to hold backdraft in compassion. So what is backdraft? Okay, with fire. When a fire is deprived of oxygen and then fresh air is let in, it creates an explosion. With regard to self-compassion, okay, when people have inundated themselves with self-criticism and judgment and general feelings of worthlessness, okay, and then compassion is let in, it creates an explosion. So this might be a flood of anger and negativity, right? There's been so much invested in this self-hatred and the part of us that feels so worthless that part is actually fighting for survival. And it can be really uncomfortable. So there are 4 steps that you can take to really hold this process in compassion. The first is to remember that self-compassion is not actually creating these feelings. We are experiencing these feelings as they are moving out the door, okay? Everything we understand is defined by its contrast with something else, right? So we recognize softness because of hardness. We perceive coldness in relation to warmth, right? So with self-compassion, we are inviting the warmth, the softness in, and therefore we're feeling the rush of the criticism and that sense of worthlessness move past us, okay? Yeah. So it's not self-compassion that's creating it. It's part of the process as it's moving out the door. Number 2, anticipate challenging emotions to arise as you practice self-compassion, right? This is really, again, the self-compassion isn't creating the challenging emotions. We are now practicing noticing them, right? So when you're aware of them, noting what is happening, right? Labeling your emotions. Notice when you're in a storyline. Okay. Oftentimes it's not what's in front of us that's causing the challenging emotions. It's the meaning we make about that situation. It's the story we're telling ourselves, right? So if it's in self-criticism, you know, if something happens and I call myself an idiot, that's the story. That's the meaning I make. I can let go of that and stay focused on what the facts were. Okay, bringing yourself back to the moment. And we can do that a lot of different ways, with breath, with our body, right? Doing a body scan, noticing what you're feeling, what do you see around you, and just anchoring yourself back into the present. Feeling your soles of your feet on the floor, for example. We offer ourselves compassion because we are suffering, right? 3, maintain balance throughout your self-compassion adventures and journeys, okay? So recognizing when you're moving into a state of overwhelm, and perhaps, noticing the differences when you're in maybe challenging yourself and practicing versus going into overwhelm, and checking in with yourself. Okay, asking yourself, what do I need in this moment, right? Perhaps it's a walk outside. Perhaps it's distracting yourself in a good novel, okay? But just checking in with yourself. There is an episode early on the awareness and contact cycle, which is all about recognizing your wants and needs and how do we move and express ourselves to get them met. So if you want a deeper dive into that aspect of it, go over there to the awareness and contact cycle episode. Asking yourself, what do I need in this moment? And 4, apply self-compassion often, right? So remember that there are 3 doorways into self-compassion. Mindfulness, right? So just simply noticing, oh, I'm really struggling right now. Noting what you're experiencing, labeling your emotions, bringing your mindful attention to what is happening for you right in this moment. And then common humanity, remembering that you're not alone and you're not defined by your thoughts and your emotions. This will pass. To struggle is to be human, right? You're not wrong because you're struggling, right? And then self-kindness. What would you say to a dear friend or a child that's experiencing this, right? And then offering that to yourself. So, 4 steps to hold the process in compassion. Remember that self-compassion is not creating these feelings of difficulty. 2, anticipate that you're going to experience challenging emotions, right? As you practice self-compassion. It's part of the human experience, right? 3, maintain balance. Asking yourself, what do I need? That's a really self-compassionate act. Really doing that often. What do I need? Whether you're in overwhelm or not, to be able to ask yourself what you need. What do I need? What do I want right now? Great practice. And then 4, apply self-compassion often, okay? So, to quote one of Christopher Germer's patients, he's a psychologist in the field, he does a lot of work with Kristen Neff. The quote is, "Love is a double-edged sword. It cuts away the pain in the present, but it also slices into the pain of the past." I thought that was an excellent quote to really articulate this backdraft phenomenon. Okay, and then the teachable takeaway for this week. I'm going to give you a couple options, right? So if you're looking for a more formal practice, something to set aside time to do, I suggest continuing with that self-compassion journal, right? Whether you write or talk it out, going through with the mindfulness, what am I mindful of right now? The common humanity, right? How might I feel that others may experience something similar? And then the self-kindness. What would I offer to a friend, right? And another formal suggestion to set aside time for is to do a self-compassion meditation every day, right? There's 3 that I've offered in this series. There's the soften, allow, love. There's waiting on yourself. There's the self-compassion break. And you can do an internet search and find so many others. But those are 3 kind of simple ones, or not simple, but shorter in my mind. It's all relative, right? And then if you want a longer, deeper dive, the part of you, if you're struggling with backdraft and there's that part of you struggling for survival that feels worthless or that's really angry, I invite you to go back to the reparenting series. The end of that series, there's the reparenting meditation. It's going to be a longer meditation, but to really meet with that part that's struggling with the compassion, and to be able to find out what it wants and needs and how can we offer that. So that might be a good meditation to do if you're struggling with that. And that's a longer meditation. Now, if you're looking for a more informal practice, something not to set extra time to do, if you don't have that time, is to really practice noticing what is your inner dialogue like, right? Am I beating myself up? Am I being critical? Like, oh, Carrie, what's wrong with you? Why are you so upset? Just get over it, right? Or is it more like, oh, Carrie, I'm really struggling right now, right? And you're gonna get through this, and I'm right here with you, right? So is it sounding like something you would say to a friend or a child? Or is it really critical? And noticing that and bringing it more towards how you would speak to a friend. So not just the words, although those are important. How are you saying the words, right? What's the delivery? What's the tone? And body language. Are you leaning in? Are you comforting yourself? Or is there like a harsh kind of cutting to it? Okay, so bringing notice to that. if it's hard to remember to do that because you haven't been doing that, I invite you to set an alarm throughout the day, a couple of them. And again, it's not something that you have to do extra, but just noticing like, oh yeah, I was struggling earlier today and I was pretty hard on myself. Let me offer myself some grace right now, right? So there you have it. 4 steps to hold backdraft and compassion. I hope you have a mindful day, and I'll see you next week.